Okay, folks, I had to come back just for a minute to share with you something that I didn't finish saying. All right, I told you all about how during my years at Cornell, it taught me to be questioning of the institutions such as science, even healthcare, where I started at Cornell my first year there, the holistic healthcare study group, because I was aware even at that time that conventional medicine was falling short with regards to the understanding of the entirety of the human person that was being treated, body, mind, and spirit. And then, of course, I was exposed to the evils, really evils, of some of the practices of multinational corporations and third world nations, and other things that were going on around the country, around the world. And as I said earlier, when I left Cornell University in 1980, I was extremely distrustful of our political system in America, and I was distrustful of multinational corporations, and I said I came out as a full-fledged socialist. By that, I need to explain, when I took comparative government at Cornell University as taught by Professor Bud Kenilworthy, we studied 4 nations. We studied Tanzania under Julius Nyerere, which was an emerging socialist nation. We studied Sweden, which was a socialist democracy and still is to this day. And we studied Venezuela, which was an emerging socialist government at that time even. And we studied Cuba. All right, and this was comparative government. So really the models that I was being exposed to as a young man were all essentially socialist models. Capitalism was not even an option. And of course I was taught that folks who were wealthy somehow acquired that wealth through, shall we say, less than honest practices. So I was very distrustful of the capitalist system. And in many ways we should be, right? We should be thinking about how people make their money in this world. Certainly in medicine, one of my books was called The Exploitation of Illness in Capitalist Society. That's quite a title, isn't it? Illness exploited in capitalist society. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine physicians and hospitals and others profiting off of illness? Well, sure you can. That's whole capitalism, but it's not the right kind of capitalism. It's not honest. So it's no wonder that I distrusted our system of government. But I have to add, before you think I'm still a socialist, that I'm not. Of course I'm not. I've learned much in 40 years about how our government can work, and how having free choices and having the ability to get somewhere in a society, to do for yourself through hard work, the stuff that I've done as a family doctor. I can't believe the blessings that I've had. So, and so many others in this society have been able to achieve so much because of the capitalist way that we live in this country, because hard work is paid off, and because the government's not dictating how we live our lives, which is true in socialist countries. So again, I've made a huge transition. There's another physician who played a huge role in my life, Dr. Herbert Ratner. Herbert Ratner, a pediatrician in Chicago, who many years ago questioned the wisdom of rolling out the oral polio vaccine when he was already beginning to see that there were issues in the environment that were responsible for the spread of polio that could have been addressed. And he was correct in the fact that the oral polio vaccines were in some ways damaging. So Herbert Ratner was one of the greatest authorities on Hippocratic medicine. The oath that we take to do no harm is from Hippocrates. All right. So when I was exposed to Dr. Ratner at many meetings and in his book called Nature, the Physician, the Family, I realized that the physician that I wanted to be and the physician that I've become is one who is deeply devoted to observing the laws of nature and the laws of God, much as our founding fathers incorporated in the designing of the Declaration of Independence and our Articles of Confederation, our Constitution. So where am I now? I'm still extremely distrustful of multinational corporations. And I'm still extremely distrustful of our political systems, especially the current administration. But I'm no longer a socialist. I'm a conservative. I'm a deeply deeply devout, as I guess you could say, conservative, because I'm devoted to the principles of nature. And I believe conservatism at its core means observing and obeying the laws of nature and the laws of God. And I hope you would agree with that assessment. All right. So again, folks, thank you for giving me this time to explain my personal journey. I hope it becomes part of your journey as you and we all mature as Americans, and as we all try to reclaim the greatness of our society, the freedoms of our society, our God-given right to use our reason, to teach our children how to reason, how to be fully healthy in body, mind, and spirit, and how to overcome this pandemic of fear. God bless you all and good night. Thank you.